Hi, this is Paul with the Oaken Knight. I generally don't do unboxing videos. I've only done one before. I just happened to have my camera all set up and ready to go when Kernstown came to me. And I just wrapped up my Rally Round the Flag series, and lo and behold, the very next day, this box of gaming goodness arrives at my door. So I think I'm going to paraphrase Ann Richards when she was talking about George Bush Sr. at the 1988 Democratic National Convention keynote speech. Power Paul, he can't help it. He's got Warfighter to review. So I'm going to do that, guys. I'm going to go ahead and do an unboxing video of some of this gaming goodness that showed up here, and poor Paul is going to have some fun right along with you. So let's go ahead and see what Danverson Games has put in the box this time. So it is my guess that if you've got this, you're probably going to want to be taking a look at this because this looks kind of fun. My understanding from some of the promotional stuff is that this is more of a mercenary sort of view of Warfighter, where you're actually having to pay for the stuff that you use. That you're on missions and you're getting paid for those missions, and you're using those to upgrade equipment and get licenses to get new kinds of equipment and all of that. So it is possibly going to be quite a lot of fun. And if you were wondering about my Ann Richards quotes, go on YouTube, the holder of all human knowledge, and look up the 1988 DNC and Ann Richards. You'll see her talking about George Bush at 19 minutes and 35 seconds in. So there we go. All right, but this is an unboxing video, so let's go ahead and take a look at the outside. Beautiful artwork, of course. Danverson always manages to do that. In case you're unfamiliar with it, Warfighter is a card game by Danverson Games where cards can represent anything from individual soldiers to enemy soldiers to different weapons that you can carry, different individual hand grenades, counters for that. You have clips that are associated with the rifles that you're carrying of all different kinds, from machine guns to sniper rifles to sidearms to just God knows what, all kind of stuff. And you fight your way from card to card across the tabletop until you get to the objective card, and if you beat the objective card, then you won that scenario. And they also link it together into a campaign game if you're so inclined to do that. All in all, it is one of my very favorite games. I went pretty much all in on the modern version, and I picked up some of the World War II version as well. They have some real cool things that I like. I mean, any game that has bullet dice it can't be all bad. I've never seen anything like this before. I think they're fun. I always play Warfighter with the bullet dice. All right, so let's see what's come here. So again, this box is about playing as a mercenary rather than as a soldier that's in a particular country, affiliated with a particular country. So just taking a look at the back of the box, we see that, yes, watch your gear, that stuff ain't free. All right, so you're going to be buying your goodies. You won't be just being handed by the government. Or private military contractor places private military business in your hands. So it sounds like you're a business owner, and your business is going off and causing trouble and getting paid for it, I guess. All right, well, that's very pretty. And let's see what's on the inside. Making it easy on myself, cracking the top first off camera. Let's see, we have got us a nice looking manual. I see it goes out to 81 pages on the credits. So there's a lot inside of here. What could possibly be going on for 81 pages? Well, now the rules from Warfighter look very similar to this. It's got lots of nice pictures. They show you examples of the cards. And I never really had trouble going through those rules. They were always pretty easy for me to read anyway. You can see it's nice big print. We got white space, we got pictures, we got great big section headings. So it's never been much of a problem to go through Danverson Games rule books. And as a rule, they are pretty well written. There may have been one or two exceptions, but nothing that I've come across in recent times. So this is all looks kind of normal. You have your action cards, that's straight out of Warfighter. These are the things you have basically a squad leader, and he's holding the cards. and the cards can help make it easier to do certain things, or even possible to do certain things that you couldn't do without them. You get so many actions per soldier, and that determines how many plays the guy gets. Each shot is going to be an action, moving from card to card, from terrain card to terrain card is going to be an action, or even putting down the next terrain card is generally going to be an action. Service records, well, that's something I haven't seen. I think the World War II game has that, but that's new to Warfighter as far as I know. Let's see. Mission card. Okay, you're on these. Every time you play, you have a mission and an objective card that you're trying to go for. So where you need to go and what you need to do when you get there. So this is no different from that. Just trying to see what's different, because you guys obviously could just go look at YouTube and find all kind of stuff on Warfighter. It's a pretty popular game. All right, setting up, blah blah blah. Let's see. Let me see if I can find something that looks vastly different than what I'm used to. Well, this looks kind of new. I haven't seen this sort of thing before, where there's been body armor before, but I haven't seen something that looks like what I see when I'm at the firing range, as far as hit locations, and looks like considerable detail, if I understand this right. Yes. I mean, you're rolling apparently to see where a guy's getting hit. Hoorah. Okay. Well, having taken a moment to look at this in a bit more detail, I see that I see why it's as thick as it is. This book is intended to be a universal warfighter rulebook for fantasy, for World War II, for modern, and for near future. Okay, including the modern private military contractor game. So that's what's going on here. So they've got a unified set of rules for all these games that are either out or scheduled to be coming out, so that it's going to be the same base rule book. And then we see like things that I recognize from the World War II game. I see things that I recognize World War II. I see things that I recognize for other eras. And I see a section for private military contractors. So here's a section of game-based rules that layers on top of the general rules. Here's dollars that you need to earn for buying stuff, the differences between, the other games where you're representing a soldier affiliated with a certain country. Here you are business setup. You are forming your business. Okay. So you're in the Merc business. And I guess you got a P&L sheet or something that you got to pay attention to. So this is all going to be new. Competitors. Draw 2 competitor cards. These competitors remain in play. So you aren't the only Merc company out there. So I think there's this campaign sort of connection going on that's going on in addition to just doing missions. Bidding on contracts. Okay, I see kind of what we're after here. All right. This looks very interesting. I think this is going to be a great deal of fun. Oh, my Lord. Undead. Okay, we got undead. We need those kind. So we got all kind of stuff going on in this book. All right. Well, I don't know if we have any undead mercs. Probably not. I don't think the undead care about those. But we'll see. All right. So let me see what else is in this. What's in the box? We have got card. Okay. So keywords are on the cards. This is nice. I've seen this in other versions of the game. There's a certain keyword on a card. Instead of digging through the rule book, they'll tell you in a summary, alphabetical order. That's a nice thing. Look like we have okay, here's your business formation card where you're forming your team, I guess. Now, I'm sure that they, at least in past games, they've had this available in PDF format on their website. I would think that they would have the same thing for this game. And we got us a game board. This is the regular Warfighter board. It's a nice hard board. I see that much. And, a little different artwork, but pretty much the same sort of idea. So again, you've got your cards that are in play. So that's what goes on most of this. It's going to be covered with cards. Over here, probably bad guys. Bad guy cards are going to be over there. And here's the terrain cards that you're going towards. So like if you had an objective that was 7 cards away, it would be living here. You'd start at number 1, and as you played the game, you'd be filling in the in-between ones and discovering bad guys and discovering what you had to go walking through to get to where you were going. So this looks very, very familiar. And then the game generally has some counters that come with it. So here, bucks. All right, that's a new one. I haven't seen that in Warfighter before. Of various kinds. Beautiful counters. These are, you will not need to get out your counter clipper on these. They're very nicely, and I can feel that it won't take a whole lot of pressure to get them to pop out. So you're not going to be spending hours clipping the corners of counters like I do with a lot of games. All right, all very nice stuff. And then clearly we're going to have a whole bunch of cards. So different decks of cards. Here's the action deck. Okay, this is the deck that you're going to, that you're putting things in your hand, and then once they're in your hand, you can play them as you need to use them. Bad guys, hostiles. Baghdad Embassy. Well, that sounds kind of cool. So location card, contract card. Okay. So this is how you are getting your jobs to keep your company going. And skills. One of the things you can buy for your soldiers in Warfighter, in addition to weapons, you can also buy skills. And apparently they've got some of that here. I assume there's some uniqueness to them, that they're not just rehashes of the skills that are in the base Warfighter set, but who knows? Okay, so here's just looking at the reverse side. Move out. This is very, very familiar to anyone who's played Warfighter. There's nothing new there. Let's see right here. Okay, this is a location card. This is where these are the cards you place as you go. Say if you're getting to number 7 for the objective, you start at number 1. Well, number 2 through 6 have to have something in them. These are those somethings. You play those as you go. You draw them and you decide which card to play. Okay, contract, embassy, patrolling. All right. Bid, comp, term, 4 weeks. Okay, a 4-week contract, $20,000 bonus. Okay. That's the real deal there. This looks like a fun change from the base game. I love the base game, but this is just going to put a real interesting twist on it. All right, so this is Warfighter from a Merc's point of view. Let's go ahead and take a look at what they put in the night combat version of the game. All right, and here's Warfighter Shadow War. Now, the original Warfighter did not have night operations, as strange as that might seem for a special forces card game. They didn't worry about it. When they came out with the Footlocker, which I showed you a little bit ago, they did include some basic rules and some cards to allow you to do fighting at night. And they were kind of interesting, but it certainly was not a fully developed concept that was integrated into the game. It was kind of a neat little add-on that was thrown in that allowed you to have some variation in your missions, but not something you'd call, a whole game in itself. Well, I think they've taken a big step towards making this a whole game in itself with this new add-on. Again, if I haven't mentioned, both of these, both the Merc and the Shadow War games were originally Kickstarter games. They've just come out. They were funded through Kickstarter, and of course, when you do Kickstarter, you get all this bonus stuff. You have other optional things you can buy. So you saw those card decks. Those are all different optional things that I threw in, and we can talk a little bit about them. But let's get back to owning the night. That's what this. So these are night. This is night operations for Warfighter. Warfighter Modern Shadow War. It takes Warfighter card game series into the world of night combat operations. Well, we certainly had some of that recently. Cooperative game, yes. And, oh, by the way, this game is a blast cooperative. I don't know how it would hold up if you had more than 2 people. But basically, I have a buddy that I play with, and we both enjoy this. We each have one player character, and that allows us to each have one hand of cards. Everything else we buy is of the non-player variety, and it's just a blast to work through a mission with that. Sometimes we get surprised. We generally win, but not always. Not always. You can have that guy jump out from behind something and then get a lucky roll, and somebody gets hit. Maybe it causes the whole mission to fail. But that's why you play the game, right? All right. So here is. I see equipment. I see the weapons. I see skills. I see. Looks like soldiers. One of the neat things in the original Warfighter, they had pictures of real soldiers that had been submitted that they had the permission to reprint. This doesn't really look like that because they actually had the name of the guy and who took the picture, I think, if I remember right. But still, no, that's fine. This is a Night Ops picture. How can you tell who that is? Let's see. Bad guys. What is that? A mission objective, night objective, soldiers. All right. Let's see what's in the box. The outside of the box looks very cool. Very, very Night Fighter-ish. All right. And once again, guess what? We have another one of those universal rule books. So in here, I'm sure Shadow War is going to have its own section. It's going to have the general stuff, and then the specific things for the game that you're talking about. Now, what's this? Campaigns? That sounds kind of cool. Let's take a look. See, page over to 52. That would be the new stuff. There we go, 52. Shadow War, setting it up, night equipment. I think if I remember right from the what they had in the Foot Locker. I mean, yes, you could do things without night equipment, but it was harder. So I think if you're playing at night, night equipment simply makes it easier for you to do certain things that you didn't have to work too hard at during the day. But without the special equipment, it makes it much harder to do it at night. Night vision would be a good example of that. Insertion, how you get to the starting point. Helo insertion, or just kind of being there. Okay. Mission cards, this is what you're trying to accomplish. Those mission cards are situated at objective cards, and the scenario will define how many cards you got to fight through to get there. Let's see, location cards. These are the cards that are in between your start card and the objective card. They come out of the action deck. You play them as you go, so you don't know what's going to be there, but you do get to play them. You're just kind of limited to whatever you drew into your hand. Let's see, distraction location cards. Well, that sounds interesting. Yes, if I remember right, they are going to have the concept of noise in this. They had a little bit of that in the Foot Locker rules. I bet you they really embellished that here. Reaction, okay, hostile forces, mobilization status counter. All right. So this is all kind of things that are going to layer on top of the basic game to make this a night action game. So lots of good things. I'm very much looking forward to giving this a go. Let's see. Shadow War soldier actions. Okay, so I think maybe we're getting into more generic stuff. Again, there's lots of reviews out there and things on Warfighter, and I am pretty sure I'm going to be putting some more out on this stuff because I really like this game. In fact, without criticizing anybody, I thought some of the reviews or some of the playthroughs of Warfighter that were out on YouTube, they missed some things that they could have done that would have made their life a lot easier, or they just did something wrong. And so hopefully I can go ahead and do a little bit more thorough job of getting things right. Although I tell you guys, it's really hard when you're doing this camera thing. You got so much on your mind. I'm doing all this stuff with my hands and the books and talking and whatnot. It's so easy to say something that isn't quite right. So give me every break you can, all the indulgence you can. We'll get through this. What is this? Shadow War Daylight Combat PMC scenario. Oh, a scenario book. Okay. Scenario. So we got a whole book for scenarios. Old war horses. Lone wolf. Nemesis. Cool. Something out there waiting for us. Uh-oh. It's not Alien, is it? It's not going to be one of those. I'll have to see. Yeah, yeah. Okay. What's this? Okay, here's one of those. It's not an index. It's just telling keywords. Keywords telling you what things mean in a quick and easy way. These terms would probably be appearing directly on the cards, and this gives you just an easier way of getting to them. And I don't think I have to open this. Oh, okay. Here's noise levels. I think I kind of remember that. So, as you're moving around, you're going to be making noise. A little bit of Nemesis, maybe. I have Nemesis where you're doing things and you're attracting aliens when you make noise. Well, maybe there's a little piece of that in here too. The board looks. I don't think I have to open this puppy up, although it is kind of interesting, and I do like the color. It's a very, you can see, it's a very night fighter-ish, attractive sort of color. I like it. I like it, yeah. I like it. It looks like I have night glasses on. Yeah, all right. And of course we got our counters, blah, blah, blah. Da-da-da. And we got decks of cards. That's a pretty darn skinny one. U.S. soldiers. Well, okay, the deal is with night fighters is that anybody can be a night fighter if you've got the proper equipment. So I guess looking at this, I'm not surprised there aren't a whole lot of soldier cards here because I got a whole footlocker filled with soldier cards of all different nationalities, and any of them can use night equipment and work under these rules. So I think what this is doing is this is a self-contained game that you can play all just owning this. They give you some soldiers in case you need them. Yeah, never have too many of those. Shadow attacks, okay. What's this? North Korea objective. Well, we like the sounds of that. That sounds like a good thing. Action cards. Okay, everybody's got to have action cards. This is what you draw into your hand. Without these, then, well, this is where the locations belong, so that you draw them into your hand, and you can decide whether you want to discard it because it's a crappy location, or use it because it's a good location, or take into account how much time you have left. All the scenarios only have a certain number of turns in them, so sometimes you have to do things in suboptimal ways simply because you're running out of time. All right. And just for grins, I thought I'd share this with you. The game comes with counters that represent the soldiers, and counters, they're functional, they work, they've got numbers on them and everything, so you can tell which soldier goes to which cards. But it's really nice to have a few miniatures so that you can use miniatures instead of counters when you're moving things around. And I just happened to find this that has to do with Mars attacks. These are the soldiers, okay, which are perfectly and 100% useful in this game. So you can see all I did is I just did a basic paint-up job, nothing special. I put a number on them, and this is what I use when I play Warfighter. Again, nothing spectacular about my paint job, but it sure is a whole lot cooler than using counters. And of course, these will work with any of these games. Okay. Another aspect of the Warfighter Night Ops Shadow War is that from what I understand, it is mission-oriented. It's more sense of being a mission-oriented where you're doing some coordinated missions to get a larger objective. So I didn't think you guys would forgive me if I didn't open up this one. So I'm going to show you the Bin Laden cards, and so you can have a better idea. And me too. I'm just seeing them for the first time myself. So it looks like there are two different campaigns in here. There's a Tora Bora campaign and a Pakistan campaign. Both I believe that Bin Laden would be the objective. Let's see. Tip of the spear, double-sided expansion. Okay, yes, this one is twice as big as the other one, so that's why they have two campaigns in here. Select your soldiers, launch your missions, eliminate the hostiles, and take down Bin Laden. All right, what could possibly be better than that? And so when I look at the cards, I see, yes, they are. I see labels on them first. So, for example, here's a Bin Laden, right? And here's Tora Bora. So this has to do with the Tora Bora campaign. Here's another card. This would be some kind of bad guy. You can tell because it's got the crosshairs reticle on him, and it says Pakistan. So this has to do with the Pakistan campaign. So I'm sure the cards break down into those two groups. Oh, I like this guy. Yeah, we like to do. I know what we do with these guys. The bored soldiers. Oh yeah, that should be okay. Yes, I'm looking. I see they're all either Pakistan, Tora Bora. I'm seeing this must be the Pak. This must be the Pakistan pile because these guys are all Pakistan. And I see things like this. I'm sure that has to do with the night rules, shadows. Let's see. Okay, well I guess there's some kind of shadows rule. All right, it has to do with your being spotted at night. Sounds like that old computer game Thief, right? Uh, here's insert. Okay, here's bad guys. This is again Pakistan. Pakistan insurgents. I think they go here. Let's see. And now, okay, now this looks interesting. So this to me looks like these are different missions that you could do. And I wonder if they are you're doing just one of them or whether you're going from one to the next to the next. Certainly it has that possibility that you're chaining these together until you complete the missions. And each one probably has a different objective. All right. And see, here's on the ground, on the ground. Okay, locations, okay, living area, guest bedroom, oh boy, okay. Going through that compound where Bin Laden was hiding out, that looks familiar. Uh, okay, so that's what all this is. And then they've got the equivalent cards for Tora Bora when he was hiding in the caves in where would that have been? Was that Pakistan? No, no, that was. I'm not sure where Tora Bora was actually. Maybe I think it was just west. Oh, Afghanistan, of course. That was in Afghanistan, just a little bit west of the border with Pakistan. He didn't go far when he was starting hiding out. What did he? He didn't go that far. Okay, night location. Oh Jesus, could you imagine going through those tunnels? And I couldn't. I couldn't. I think I couldn't deal with that. All right. So here's Bin Laden propagandizing. Okay, I'm not sure what that's about. On alert, to sleep, escaping. Oh, that's bad. We don't want that. And then finally, I have cards for. Okay, these are insurgent cards, and this is okay. So these are the bad guy cards, the insurgent cards for Tora Bora. Okay, these are the guys that are going to be popping up trying to deal with you and your team. And more shadow cards. Okay. All right. So this is what you get in these little bundles of cards. Like here's another one, Somali Pirates. All right. So this one's going to have equivalent things for that, and all of them would be played using the night mission rules. So that's how that is. And then the other stuff I got is pretty much like here's different. This would be used for regular warfighter, I presume. So adversary cards. So if you want to play a campaign against the North Koreans, here you go. Uh, warfighter comes with basically drug cartel guys. They tend to. I believe they're the easiest of the card sets that are in Warfighter as far as, the lowest level of difficulty. You want to start against the drug guys and you graduate up to the Middle Eastern freedom fighters, and then you end up fighting the actual military at the highest level. And then I think they added the Eastern Europeans. And as the top where they start to actually having some real tanks show up and things like that. So these are upgrading the drug guys. So they're not quite as easy as they used to be. All right, all kind of good stuff. Soldiers from different countries. Here's the Israeli soldiers. We got some Polskis. Those are my guys. That's mostly what I am. Let's see what else we got. Airborne. And other missions. So here's more for the Shadow Ops. Syria. Okay, boy, that's ringing a bell, isn't it? Okay, well, I think possibly that's enough of this good stuff. So that, I just wanted to give you a quick look at what's inside these boxes. Since they've just come out of Kickstarter and they're ending up in people's hands, I'm sure you're going to start seeing them up on eBay, and they're probably, I assume, are going to be available from Dan Verson's website. So go ahead if you're interested. Take a look at what's out there. I'm sure I'm going to be coming out with more. I'll have more to say on this in the not too distant future, as will, I'm sure, several others. So go ahead and gather your information, decide whether you want to jump in. So with that, guys, thank you, and thank you for sticking with me, and especially thank you for sticking with me through that long multi-episodic thing I did on Rally Around the Flag. Not sure why I did that. I just liked the game and I just wanted to make it better. So that's why I did all that work. And now I'm moving on. Thank you guys. Have a nice evening. And this is Paul with the Oaken Knight, wishing you all a pleasant evening. Take care. Bye-bye.